We got our next story regarding the DOJ and Jerome Powell. Some shit's going on with Jerome Powell, and it doesn't look too good for your boy Jerome Powell. Jerome Powell is he's at the head of the Federal Reserve, and we'll read this here right now, and I'll share my thoughts on it. So, as of January 12th, 2026, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell has publicly confirmed that he and the Federal Reserve are the subject of a criminal investigation by the U.S. Department of Justice, the DOJ. This development, which broke over the weekend, marks an unprecedented escalation in ongoing tensions between the Trump administration and the central bank. That's wild. The probe centers on Powell's June 2025 testimony before Congress, specifically the Senate Banking Committee, regarding the Federal Reserve's $2.5 billion renovation project for its headquarters in Washington, D.C. Prosecutors are examining whether Powell made false or misleading statements under oath about the project scope, costs, and details, denying elements like new marble VIP dining, special elevators, or roof gardens amidst reported cost overruns. Okay, so I heard about this. And there's a video actually regarding Trump and Jerome Powell where Trump and Jerome Powell, there was a video like 3 months ago where they're walking through the building and Trump says that they went over budget by like $1 billion. And Jerome Powell was like, no, we didn't. We didn't go over budget. That's wrong. That's false information. And Trump was like, oh, yeah, really? Okay. And he pulls it out of his like jacket. And he's like, if you look at these, you were a little over budget by almost $1 billion, which by Trump saying that, what he's saying is that you guys blew over $1 billion. Where'd the $1 billion go? And did it all really go towards the Federal Reserve's building? You know, was this renovation project, did all the funds actually go towards this project, or is some of it siphoned off, and was it going to another place, probably back to their pockets? And that's what Trump is calling out here, and that's why he's threatening Jerome Powell with an investigation, because if Jerome Powell does not lower the interest rates, which is what Trump wants, then Jerome Powell will if Jerome Powell doesn't lower the interest rates, then he's going to be criminally indicted by the president, by Donald Trump. And there's some shit there that they could find most likely about Jerome Powell in that situation, because that falls back on him at being the head of the Federal Reserve. So he has two options to make, which is you play ball with Trump, you cut the rates, and you lower the interest rates on the homes, which will most likely hurt and devalue the dollar, or you don't play ball and you get subpoenaed and you get indicted by the president, basically, which is abusive. I feel like an abuse of power. I think it's a bold move, because what if a Democrat gets in there? But that's what's happening right now with Trump. And, Jerome Powell could go to prison. He could go to jail if he's found guilty. So we'll see what happens there. So as a result of this, what's happened recently now after all of this crazy shit, the DOJ issued a grand jury subpoena to the Fed on Friday, January 9th, 2026, with threats of potential criminal indictment. Yep. So they haven't indicted him yet, but they're threatening him right now. This is the game they're playing. The investigation is being handled by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Columbia. It is reportedly originated from a referral by Rep. Anna Paulina Luna several months earlier, accusing Powell of perjury and false statements, lying under oath. Ooh. Right. And then let's watch this video from the Federal Reserve on Twitter. I just love how all of the government now has their little Twitter accounts. How funny is that? This is a crazy day and age we live in. I mean, the president has Twitter. He talks shit all the time. I mean, what am I saying? Let's watch this. Let's see what he says.
Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to... Good evening. On Friday, the Department of Justice served the Federal Reserve with grand jury subpoenas, threatening a criminal indictment related to my testimony before the Senate Banking Committee last June. That testimony concerned in part a multi-year project to renovate historic Federal Reserve office buildings. I have deep respect for the rule of law and for accountability in our democracy. No one, certainly not the chair of the Federal Reserve, is above the law. But this unprecedented action should be seen in the broader context of the administration's threats and ongoing pressure. This new threat is not about my testimony last June or about the renovation of the Federal Reserve buildings. It is not about Congress's oversight role. The Fed, through testimony and other public disclosures, made every effort to keep Congress informed about the renovation project. Those are pretexts. The threat of criminal charges is a consequence of the Federal Reserve setting interest rates based on our best assessment of what will serve the public, rather than following the preferences of the president. This is about whether the Fed will be able to continue to set interest rates based on evidence and economic conditions, or whether instead monetary policy will be directed by political pressure or intimidation.
Okay, so you see that right there. So he's talking about being intimidated. So he is clearly saying, like, I'm being intimidated by the president. He said, we're not going to affect the rate as a result of that, which is a bold move, saying that, I mean, he's like saying, bring it on, bitch. So if you like that clip and you want the full breakdown, the stream is linked right here on the channel. Go click it. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments, and I'll get back to you personally. Thanks.